In today's video, we're diving into how to meet legendary figures like Osiris in an underground casino. Not exactly a decoding expert, Roy was struggling to figure things out, only to turn around and spot Joe. Driven by curiosity, Roy followed Joe into the arcade, where he found Joe engrossed in breaking high scores without even realizing he was looking at his own dad. Roy was thrilled about this meeting and wanted to spend more time with Joe, but everywhere they went, the computer screens were glitching out like it was 1999. Stepping out of the arcade, Roy saw it was 12:50, 3 minutes past his previous longest survival. Spotting the same glitchy screens, Roy realized he was targeted. His signal vanished underground, which explains the extended living time. But now back on the surface, the assassins were gathered like they were throwing a party. Roy had no plans to resist. Realizing the truth meant he just needed to hit reset upon dying, he zoomed right back to the starting line like it was a video game. After breezing through previous levels, he arrived at a long restaurant where he learned the ultimate location tracker was surprisingly inserted in. Suddenly, Roy had an epiphany. The so-called beauty dentist was actually stalking him like a bad horror movie. Just when he was brainstorming a plan, she found him first, and he just froze like a deer in headlights. He was utterly too scared to resist until he thought to himself, maybe death would actually be quite alright. Next up was the heroic villain course, where Roy was really hoping to hear more success stories. Turns out, the beauty dentist was cleverly placed right next to the big bear. On his way back, Roy punished himself, yanking teeth with huge pliers. Sure enough, the tracker was lodged inside, making it clear it was a surveillance device planted by his wife. He deftly removed the tracker, right after which, the assassin zeroed in on his extracted tooth like bloodhounds. Roy wasted no time pulling out his gun from behind and snatched the killer's firearm, taking him down in one shot. He also sent his other arch-rivals packing one by one, shoving all the assassins into the warehouse as if it were a party. Using explosive tricks, he took all at once, like clearing a game mission. Subtitles. Roy dashed straight to the company's entrance, getting ready for the next intense sprint. This time, he crashed the car straight into the company. The guards weren't even paying attention, mindlessly firing away, while Roy jumped in with a grin. Could do this all day long, let's gear up for another round. This time, Roy played it like a pig, surprising himself by taking out a killer and smoothly blending into the company. Subtitles. After a tough struggle, he finally triumphed over the secure elevator, only to find himself stepping out into a deadly situation. But anyway, he could respawn endlessly. Roy was well prepped. As soon as the elevator doors opened, the regular guards turned into target practice as he made a beeline for the boss's office, only to run into a female assassin. The first time using a pistol, he actually missed every single shot and was instantly shot through. In the next 2 tries, she could dodge bullets. For the final effort, he used both machine and handguns. And it was lights out, with the whole crowd bowing out in the chaos. Realizing brute force was no match, Roy decided to seek out Sword Master Zhongxiang for advice. Death daily, Roy learned little each day, rising from 158 to 198. After persistent effort, Roy finally earned Zhongxiang's approval, becoming a qualified student. On the 200th try, Roy dropped weapons entering, turned, grabbed a sword from the wall, ready to shine. The female assassin thought Roy was giving up, but in this loop, only Roy could accumulate experience while everyone else was seeing him for the first time. She thought she could easily take him on, only to realize she was totally outmatched as he dispatched her effortlessly. Subtitles. At that very moment, Zhongxiang burst out holding a gun, while Roy deftly dodged like Superman, ultimately resulting in Zhongxiang being taken down instead. The boss tried to grab his gun, but got pinned to the ground by an arrow from Roy, as he pondered his next move. The boss planned to enter mainframe, rule the world via infinite respawns, but Roy turned the tables. And now it was Roy becoming the enforcer, ready to take down his nemesis. Facing a death threat, the boss remained astonishingly calm. He told Roy that his son Joe was not safe, sending Roy into furious rage. Subtitles. Roy hurriedly rushed to the arcade, but it was already too late. Joe had become a lifeless corpse. Then suddenly, there was an explosion, and Roy woke up once more. He realized that if the mainframe ran for more than a day, the entire world was headed for a big bang, which meant whether he killed the boss or not was irrelevant. Everyone was going to end up 6 feet under. So Roy decided to spend the rest of his time with Joe, making the most of their father-son bonding. They played games and strolled through the park, thinking they could enjoy this until Doomsday arrived. Little did they know, a casual conversation led Joe to mention that he received a call from his mom that morning. Roy glanced at the call log and noticed it was 7:03 a.m., and in that instant, a brilliant idea struck him. If he could clear the levels quickly enough, he might be able to save Gemma. He leaped back into the company, blasting away at the grunts and the boss.